Hey everyone, this is my last video for the week, and this is meant to show you what you can do once you have finished your Impossible Triangle project and you have finished the critique and you've handed them both into the box. You have nothing left to do. So I have a couple different options for you. The first thing is if you'd like to do a little bit of drawing practice. These are something students have really enjoyed doing in the past, and they're sort of like grid drawing puzzles. And this is one of the easier ones I have, where what you do is you look at across all the boxes on the top and you look at, say, A2, you find A2, and then you draw what is in that box. Something like that with just a pencil, but if you feel confident, you could use a pen or a marker or something instead. And then you go down to A3 and you draw what's in that box. So A1, 2, 3. And I see this shape continues up like this and down like that. This is a great exercise to help you with your proportion. And it's also kind of fun because you don't know what the image is going to be until you are finished. So I don't want to do too much work on it because I don't want you to see too much, but you'll see there isn't an A4. If there's nothing in a box, that means you just leave it blank. So you'll go through and connect the boxes together to see what the picture is. This is one that I have that's a little bit shorter. I have another one that's a little bit more complex. I have another one that's even a bit more complex than that. And then I finally have a couple that are a little bit larger. So if you prefer to draw in a larger box, this is your image, and then your grid paper is on the second page. You can see it's about the size of a piece of paper. So this is one image that I have, and then I also have another one here. So again, same thing. You would just take one of these pieces of paper that are stapled together. You'd want to pull these apart and take a look here. Some students prefer to go box by box, so they look for A1. They look through, they see there's no A1. Again, if there's no box with that label, then it's left blank. Or then they go to A2, A3, A4, and so on. Or some students like to just do it piece by piece. So like this is E4, so I would go E1, 2, 3, 4. And then this image here is what I would draw into that box. And then the next one is B7, B1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I would draw that line in that box, and so on. So this is one option that you have if you would like to do a grid drawing for fun over the next class period when you have everything finished. If you'd like to do one, great. If you want to do all 5, even better. So those are for students if you'd like a little bit of practice with your drawing using grids and proportion. The other option that I have is I've pulled out some nicer, thicker paper. You'll see that it's shiny on one side. You can kind of see that sheen on there, and you'll see that it's matte or smooth on the other side. You want to paint on the smooth side. Do not paint on that shiny side. And I have 3 different sizes, one that's kind of a large, a medium, and a small. If you would like to take your board, tape this down, and do any free painting during class using the acrylic paint that's left on your palette, or taking a few more colors and doing just a free painting for fun, that's great. Your other option is if you'd like to do a second Impossible Triangle, I also have graphite paper cut to the small square size like this. This should look familiar to you. And I even have a smaller template for you. So just as a quick reminder of how to do this transfer process, if you think you want to paint in the exact same way we did before, you might want to tape down your edges all the way around, just like we did before. But if you think you want to just paint in the triangle, you could just tape it down on the board. Remember, you'll take your graphite paper with the dark side down. Be really gentle with this paper, please, because we don't want to rip it. And we want to use it again and again. Take one little piece of paper, put that down, or a little piece of tape rather. I'll take my template, put that down right in the middle of my board like this. And I'll go over all my lines just like you've done in the past. Now, if you want to paint on this paper, on this board that you have now, you can do that. The other option is I also have put out more colored pencils and oil pastels. We haven't used those in a while, not since September. So if you liked the oil pastels that we used in the past and you want to use those for another project, you could do that here. I'm just gonna trace over all my lines. And then we'll see, looks good. Now, please remember this tape, we take that off, take that little bit of tape, throw it away, save this, put this back in the bin, take this little bit of tape off, throw that away, save this graphite paper so you can use it again or someone else can use it as well. So I have my board here. If I want to paint this with acrylic paint, just like I've already done, I can do that. But again, my other option is I could use colored pencils. If you decide to do that, just remember that these sections, the point is the lightest color, the darkest color goes on the end. So if you choose to use colored pencils, think about what's my darkest color. I know my darkest color is going to go here, maybe my medium color and my light color. So I could blend these together and just do this for fun. Again, this is a really nice, heavy board. It's not quite as heavy as the board we used for our Impossible Triangle project, but it takes paint really nicely. It also takes colored pencil. You can blend colored pencil really nicely. So again, I can go really light and then move in with my teal. And I'm not pressing very hard right now. You could press quite a bit harder if you want to have really bright, bold color. And you could use many more than just 3 colors as well if you like. And again, my lightest color up here. You do want to think about using colors that are going to blend nicely together. If you put, for example, orange and green next to each other, they might not make the nicest blend, right? You might get a little bit of brown, but maybe you want that, and that's okay too. Or maybe you want to experiment a little bit and see what you get. Again, don't just put the colors side by side like stripes like this. You want to blend them into each other. So that means overlapping those colors on top of each other. You can see I'm making kind of a nice violet color now. I'm going to pull this teal even a little bit further down into the end and then use that blue violet down on the end here. So again, this is one option. If you don't want to paint anymore, you could use colored pencil and do something like this. I also have oil pastels. We've used these in the past, if you remember. You could do the same exact thing. So again, think about the lightest color up at the point, your medium color, and your darkest color. If you want to just color, now these are a little messy. You can already see that I'm getting little marks on my paper, but that's okay. I'm going to cover those up. And again, you can color with a nice bold color, blend these together. If you want to use Q-tips, I also have Q-tips on the table. So if you like using Q-tips, I'll zoom in a little bit here. You can use Q-tips to blend these together. If you like the way that looks, it kind of just softens everything. Remember, you can also, these are water soluble. So if you want to take your paint brushes that are on your table, you want to get them wet. And when I say wet, I just mean a little bit damp. I don't mean adding a ton of water here. But if you wanted to add a little bit of water to your paintbrush, you could do that to blend these colors together as well. Again, these are just some options of things you can do once you finish your Impossible Triangle. I know that not having me in class might make you inclined to want to just kind of sit on your phone, but I do want to encourage you, even if I'm not here, to keep making art, to keep experimenting, to make something that you feel proud of, that you're enjoying. Even if it's not for a grade or for a project, sometimes it's nice to just do something for your own enjoyment. So again, you can see I have here a color example of colored pencil, an example of oil pastel. You could use acrylic paint on here as well if you would like. And if you want to do more than one of these, that's totally fine as well. So please enjoy your class period. Use your time to make something creative, make something you're proud of, and I will see you all soon.